D.O.A from the control room, man, and let's get into it. Salute, D.O.A at the control room, man. Try to like, subscribe, share the channel, man. Whatever, Sean. You feel what I'm saying, fam? You know, whatever it is, whatever you feel, do what you feel. You know what I mean? It's your world. You know what I mean? I ain't nobody. All I try to do is just make sure I do right by you and you do right by me. We can all be together. I can't stand some people that are just, you know, they overslave. You know, what we gotta do today is this stuff. We sick. We sick today. This stuff. I tell you, boy, shut your ass up. Overslaving and shit. All right, man. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the channel, man. D.O.A at the control room, man. Also known as Dread Archie Jr. Like, subscribe. It's the control room. It's the platform. I'm here. So let's talk about it, man. You know, I don't know. I ran into Lord Jamar was on Instagram a few days ago. He's talking to a couple of pioneers, a couple of friends of hip hop. You know, when I mean friends of hip hop, I mean people that are just basically really hip hop heads. And when I say hip hop heads, I'm talking about old school hip hop. You know, we're talking about the days of MC Shans, the KRS-Ones, the Melly Mel's, Curtis Blows, Charlie Chase, you know, Furious 5, you know, the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on, you know. And he was, I didn't know that him and Lord, for those that don't know who Lord Jamar is from a famous legendary hip hop group called Brand Nubian, the like of Sadat X and Grand Pooba, of course. And Grand Pooba goes way back to a group called Masters of Ceremony. Grand Pooba been in the game a real long time. Anyhow, on some real shit, so I didn't know Lord Jamar and KRS-One had a conflict going on about, there's a debate with African Americans and Latinos about who contribute into hip hop, who was the, I guess, the creators of hip hop, like, so to speak, as far as, I remember Fat Joe making a statement saying that Latinos are 50% half contributors to hip hop, right? So let me just give you my perspective. No one's never said that Latinos were never involved in hip hop. I don't know about the percentage and all that. I think that's kind of goofy. What I'm saying is that yes, African Americans, as far as in our era, are the founders and creators of hip hop. However, the craft that we call hip hop has always been here. There was, they had a group, there was a singing group, I don't know what to label them, singers, doo-wop singers, that was out in the 40s, that you can see, you can go on YouTube and check it out, called the Jubineers, I think they called, you know, my words is very terrible. I think they were called the Jubineers. They was out in the 40s and they were rapping, like really rapping. One of the guys in the group called the Jubineers that was rapping, his style was similar to Redman and Method Man on that song How High. Excuse me as I kiss the sky. You had like that singing, rapping type of flow. So what we call hip hop today, the craft has always been here. People were breakdancing like in the 20s and 30s, but it wasn't called breakdancing. I mean, graffiti, as we call it, Egyptians was writing on the wall, you know, which we call tagging also. So we can all claim, I mean, Dougie Fresh said he's the original human beatbox. And because there was a machine called a beatbox, like a SB1200. My name used to be DMX. A DMX was a machine that you would sample music from. So I think that the issue is that we have a habit of claiming things that was already discovered. It just wasn't labeled. Whatever it was called back then, it wasn't called hip hop. And if y'all want to tap into the truth, let's get deep into it. Let's get further into it. So I don't want it to be like a divide type of situation where making it a black and Latino thing. Because to be honest with you, and I'm gonna say it, Melly Mel, Kurtis Blow, these are guys all pioneers of today's era of hip hop. Kumo D, Checkers 3, you name it. These guys are pioneers. However, before those guys, there were artists that was rapping. There were artists that was beatboxing. There were artists. I don't know about the DJ. Pardon me, my people were calling. The DJing part, I can't tell. I think that was when the Kool Herc got involved, and I believe his sister had a lot to do with it. Salute to the homie Just Ice. I haven't seen Just Ice in years. Me and Just Ice did a documentary that was never released, and he actually said out his own mouth that it was Kool Herc's sister that really was the one that gets the credit for putting all the elements in. Beatboxing, as we call it, I don't like to call it beatboxing, but beatboxing, which I'm a great part of, is has a big contribution in hip hop. But I think that we're losing a point. We're losing focus. It's not about how much Latinos put in. It's not even about if we discovered it. Black people pretty much discovered everything you see around you. Let's make it very clear. However, this music that we call hip hop today has always been here. We just put a label on it. And I'm just saying, I will leave it alone. I won't tap too much. I wouldn't get, if you want to get deep into it, fine. But I think you should just leave this conversation alone because a lot of feelings will be hurt. I remember when I started, I was born doing sounds. Helicopters and all that. I didn't have, my parents bought me toys, Matchbox cars. I started emulating the sounds of the toys. So I was born with that gift. However, I knew about, as I got older, I knew about Ella Fitzgerald and Bobby McFerrin. Bobby McFerrin wasn't called a beatboxer. He was considered what they call a musician. He was more into the jazz field of it. He was making music with his body, his throat, his mouth, you name it. But it wasn't called beatboxing. But if you look at beatboxing and what Bobby McFerrin would do, it's similar. It's pretty much the same. It was labeled different. So when we start putting labels on things, it gets kind of confusing because we try to make it like it's something else. At the end of the day, I will leave that conversation alone, man. But salute to KRS-One and Lord Jamar. Salute to those brothers. But this craft that we call hip hop has always been here. I remember watching Michael Winslow. It was a TV show called White Shadow. Do your research on it. This man was amazing. He played, I believe, it was an autistic kid on that show. I was a youngin', and I was amazed by just hearing him doing different voices. Blue from the Temptations was doing bass lines with his mouth. I mean, what are we talking about here? But yeah, back in the 40s, they had all kinds of groups that were rapping. So we just got to be careful what we label ourselves. Like, oh, I was the first, it's mine. And nah, this music is God-given. But to give its credit, yes, it has to go back to black people, definitely. But it's a God-given gift for everyone to be involved in it, whether it's white, black, Japanese, Indian, Spanish, Latino, Dominican, whatever, Dominicans, it goes on and on. People all over the world at this day and time have contributed to hip hop. But of course, African Americans did create hip hop. But I'm just saying, it goes back, way back, Africa, the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to touch on it too long because this discussion can go in so many different ways. Anyway, man, it's D.O.A. from the control room. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share the channel. Leave a comment. Tell me how you feel about it, and I'll make a part 2 to this if you feel you want to have a discussion on it. All right, because I'm a hip hop historian, so it is what it is. And that, with that being said, it's D.O.A. at the control room, man. About to drink me a little wine. Love, peace, and blessings, and salute. I'm out.
I smoke cigarettes. You probably can hear it in my voice. God told me, if you don't put them down, I'm going to smite your black ass with lung cancer. And ass in the Bible, right? I hope I ain't offend nobody, but that's what he told me, straight up.
Nah, it was that damn cocaine that told you that bullshit.